Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. Interesting conversation happened yesterday at my friendly local gaming store, and I thought I would chime in on it because I thought it was kind of sad. There were two aspects of the conversation that happened. One of them was regarding someone who was having doubts about their character. They'd used a character that I'm about to start a sort of second campaign for a game, and one of the people who had played their character in the first campaign was having doubts about their character because they were used to a particular they were used to being a particular kind of character, and this one they had didn't fit that. And just having to reassure them that their character was interesting, even though it wasn't their usual type of character. And it got me thinking about one aspect of things. Each character is unique. Each character is a unique combination of the stats on the page and the player playing them. And stats on the page also includes the background. And that combination yields a unique individual character. I like it when players have play characters outside their comfort zone, because I think it helps them stretch as a role player. I think they should play, and they shouldn't. And I've seen this in games I've ran, all through my life. Is occasionally you'll get a player who will try and ape or copy what other players are doing in terms of the background and everything else, because it sounds cool. So, I'll do that as well. That can get a little frustrating for players, and it really isn't something you should do. But whatever the character, whether they're the high action character, or whether they're the diplomat character, or whether they're the healer of the party, whether they're the great mage, it's up to you as a player to make those characters interesting, to make those characters memorable and three-dimensional, and not just a type. To bring them to life. And I think that's that's as it should be. The player in particular, I pretty much said that to them, and I think they're feeling a lot better about their character, because their character is actually a very interesting character. It's not their usual type of character. Although, to be honest, they're pretty okay at what they used to do. but they got more layers to them. And I like that. The other thing that came up was a couple of my players have had a really bad experience with a GM in an online game that he had been running over Facebook. And I was listening to what this GM was like, with ever expanding horror at just how bad a GM they were. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a perfect GM. I'm not. I make the odd mistake. Even these days, it's that's life. But this guy is supposedly in his 20s. From everything I've heard, his shoe size might be a more accurate description of his emotional age. Rules going wrong, favouring players, missing out players, not taking critique, and then sending images, whatever one thinks of cruelty to animals. I personally, I abhor animal cruelty. They started sending images. It was that him and his friends were sending images, quite violent images of animal cruelty, to my players, because my players had complained. But this was meant to be a joke. And then when people said, well, that it's not funny, they were like, oh, it was only meant to be a joke. It's just so immature and so just, I've never ever seen GMing that bad, and I've seen some corkingly bad GMs in my time. As a GM, I feel that we have a moral and ethical responsibility to our hobby, to be a good GM, to be the very best GM we can, and to make our games as enjoyable as possible, as welcoming as possible. We should be treating all our players on an equal playing field. And that's the way it has to be. And if you're falling short of those standards, and I don't think those standards are particularly high standards, I think they're just pretty foundational standards, to be honest. But if you're falling short of those foundational standards, then quite frankly, you you need to stop GMing. You need to stop being a GM. Go away and do something less boring instead, because you're not doing the hobby any favours. Quite frankly. So this is the as I say, these were conversations that happened yesterday, and I have to say I was shocked and appalled by the actions of this GM, and a little saddened by my player who felt that their character wasn't good enough, interesting enough. I think I've allayed their fears on that one. But the GMing thing really gets my goat. So those are my thoughts. Yes, an original video, not one that's a video response. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any thoughts, comments, put them below, and I'll be back soon with another video.